Should you use calculated or free shipping when selling your items on eBay? This is a question that for the longest time when I started selling things on eBay like 5 years ago, I could not figure out the answer to. I'm happy to say that I've been able to try them all through my time selling on eBay, and I think I've finally figured out which ones I like best. And the answer might surprise you because it's not actually a straight across the board answer. It really depends on the items that you're selling. We'll get right into it here, but real quick, in case you're new to the channel, my name is Commonlad. I make tons of different videos trying things like reselling on eBay, Instagram theme pages, and making money on Shopify. If it sounds like something that interests you, please consider subscribing. And with that out of the way, let's start back when I started eBay and the initial thing that I was doing that I thought was kind of the right thing to do, but I wasn't quite sure. What I started doing about 5 years ago was running my online video game store on eBay. You can still see it still running. I got a lot of the bins back here where they hold a lot of the video games in case you're new here. But that was one of the main things I was doing, and what I was doing for shipping on those items was I was just charging free shipping. It made sense to me at the time. I had heard online, especially through a lot of the big resellers that I was following at the time, that free shipping was always the way to go. It allowed for a very easy customer experience. They knew the exact price that they were paying up front, and it kind of just made sense in terms of selling. It was a great kind of throw in on your product, free shipping on this item, and they don't have to pay any additional charges. What I learned very quickly though in the sort of competitive video game market was that actually is not quite the right way to go, in my opinion. When you're selling items like I was that are maybe only a few dollars, let's say it's like a $3 or $4 video game, the last thing that you actually want to be doing is offering free shipping. The reason for that is that free shipping actually increases the overall price of your item. Now, technically speaking, when you're searching on eBay and you go lowest price plus shipping, your item will still appear in the same position as it would, whether or not, let's say you're charging $3.50 for shipping and that's incorporated in the price, or it's actually offered in a shipping, it'll still appear in the same place on eBay. But the difference is the buyer's perception of the item cost. So if you think about it in simple terms here, let's say it was a $4 game with $3 shipping on top. That makes the buyer sort of think, okay, I'm getting the $4 game here and I'm gonna pay an additional $3 to have it shipped to my house. Whereas let's say that if you're doing free shipping with that, the buyer just assumes that they're paying $7 and that just sounds like a bad deal for a game because they don't even think about shipping. Basically where I'm going with this is when you charge a lower price for an item, whether or not it's a video game, you definitely want to have your shipping separate because it makes the item appear cheaper. Now this might be argued against, for example, if you're selling, I don't know, a copy of Super Mario or let's say Smash Bros, the title that can maybe be worth, $60, $70, whatever the price is there, maybe then you throw in free shipping because you don't mind paying the extra $3 out of your expense. But I think if you're charging the buyer for the shipping, you should just let them know that you're charging them for the shipping and just include it as a shipping cost. Now, there's also another option that I had sort of looked into when I was starting selling things on eBay, and this was when I was sort of starting to kind of go outside the video game niche and playing around with selling some other items. Before I landed on calculated shipping and sort of figured out how to use that, and we'll touch on that here in a second, I was playing around with something called flat rate. Flat rate shipping is a flat fee that you charge basically anywhere within the country. You can set one on a national level, you can set one on international level for the United States, for example, but you can set a flat fee that you charge any person from that country to pay for your item. Now, I tried this for a bit because, again, when you're selling things outside of the standard video game niche where everything is $3 no matter where it's going, which is how I actually charge for those, is with a flat fee. But when you're selling things outside of the video game niche, then you get into sort of this issue of, well, if it sells to somebody, for example, I'm in Toronto, if it sells to somebody in Toronto or maybe in Ontario, it might only cost me, let's say, $10 to ship it there. So I charge a flat fee of $10. But then in some cases, maybe it's going out all the way to British Columbia or somewhere else in the country. Now I'm paying like $25 to ship it there. Well, that's a loss of $15 that I'm gonna lose, if I had to ship it out there. But also if I charge $25, that's unfair to a buyer in Ontario and I might lose the sale because I'm charging too much for my shipping. I think the flat fee shipping should actually be saved for anything that actually has a flat rate that can go somewhere. For example, your letter mail items that can go in the slot, that can go anywhere in Canada. If you don't know about letter mail with Canada Post, I recommend checking out one of my videos. It'll be carded up here somewhere where it talks about how to ship using letter mail and get really good deals anywhere in Canada. The only other case though where I would use a flat rate sort of price is if I was using the Canada Post flat rate boxes, which are sort of, again, anywhere in Canada, standard one fee. You could use those with the flat rate fee. The only other way that you could actually pull it off if you really wanted to use flat rate for whatever reason is that you would have to probably average the price out. So let's say, again, we got British Columbia for, let's just simplify it, $20 to British Columbia, $10 to anywhere in Ontario. Then we're going to probably charge $15. So then let's say if it lands out there, we might lose $5, but you sell enough items and you sort of make $5 on some items, you lose $5 on the other items, and over time it sort of averages itself out. So basically, so far we've learned that free shipping, generally speaking, unless it's a very expensive item that you're willing to put up the cost for, I would suggest just charging a calculated or a flat rate shipping on. And for small items like video games and, flat rate boxes, if you're using those, then a flat fee shipping is exactly what you should be using those on. Again, though, there are times when free shipping does come into account. Like I said, if you're selling a super valuable video game for, let's say, $100 and you're willing to pay the $3 or $10 it is to ship it out, then go for it. I think it's totally worth putting on a free shipping on and, maybe encouraging that sale. With that all said, though, let's talk about calculated shipping, because this is the most important one that I think is maybe even confusing to some people, and why they don't get into it is because flat rate and free shipping are simple. You just, either incorporate the price into the item or you incorporate the price into the listing, but you have to figure out that price beforehand. I was always kind of scared to calculate it though, because it was going all over the country. How do I know that eBay is going to charge the right amount? How do I know what dimensions to put into the item if it's not packed yet? How do I know where in Canada it's going, and do I need to charge the buyer for that? Do I have to include that in the invoice? In simple terms, if you use calculated shipping, it's going to take the dimensions, the approximate dimensions of your items, I should say, and it's going to charge the buyer the appropriate fee to ship it to them. And for this reason, it makes the most sense. And this is kind of why I'm making this video, was just to sort of say, I know most people are already probably using it, but for some of the new people on eBay who don't quite understand it or are trying to figure out what's the best to use with their items, I think calculated is usually the way to go if it's something besides something that can be shipped via a flat rate amount, like something in the letter mail, like a video game. But for any other item that's going to be in a box or something that actually has to get paid for using Canada Post, labels, then you want to charge calculated shipping. So how do you charge calculated shipping? How do you make sure that it's right? Well, first of all, you want to go to your domestic section and you want to select calculated shipping as your shipping option. From there, you select Canada Post as your carrier, you select the service that you would like to provide, and you select your handling time. Once that's all said and done, you go over to your international section. I usually select to ship to the following countries, and then I select the United States, and then I offer a US air packet service or a ground packet service depending on the size of the parcel. And I offer that for the United States, and then I say, we'll ship to additional countries, contact for cost, and that's usually the way I do it. You can offer other worldwide shipping services to, for example, Europe or anywhere else, but I find that the majority of my sales happen within the United States or Canada, so there's not really a sense in doing that. And if buyers really want a specific item outside of North America, I can usually arrange a shipping option with them. Then you're going to head down into the dimensions section, where you're going to enter the approximate dimensions for the item. The truth is, for items that are selling in Canada, it doesn't matter if you're a few inches off, because when the actual item goes in to their system, the couple inches don't usually make a difference. So let's say that I'm selling a big VHS player and I don't know how big the box is going to be because I don't know how much bubble wrap I'm going to do. I might add a couple inches on each side of the actual unit to account for the box and maybe the bubble wrap that goes in there. But again, if I'm a couple inches off, the price that's going to be charged to the buyer is virtually the same. So that's an important thing to know about calculated shipping, is that you don't have to be exact on your dimensions. You don't have to have the item pre-packaged. You don't have to have a box already figured out, which was one of the things that I didn't really understand when I got into it. But that is one of the things to know. So I know this video was a little bit all over the place. I know I was trying to talk about multiple different shipping services, and hopefully I didn't lose anybody during the whole thing. But yeah, there are multiple different shipping services that are available. Obviously, the fourth one, which I didn't really talk about, is local pickup, which of course you could probably figure out how that one works. You get the item locally picked up. But for the most part, like I said, I use calculated shipping for almost everything, with the exception of the video game store and the things that I send via letter mail, in which case I use a flat rate shipping. I just personally think, though, that when you're selling an item and you have it as the price of the item and then the price for shipping, those are two smaller amounts, especially on the lower priced items, versus trying to sell something that is only worth $4, but you're trying to sell it for $7 to incorporate the shipping costs and then charge for free shipping. Well, the buyer doesn't always assume that there is a shipping cost incorporated with getting that item to them, so they just assume that you're charging too much for the item. When should you use free shipping, of course, is like I said again, and I won't say the example again, but when you're selling a higher priced item that you want to pay shipping for, or if you're selling a really expensive item, let's say that you're selling a $500 VCR or some sort of vintage electronic or an antique, and you're willing to pay the $25, $30, $40 to ship it because the price of the item is so high you don't care about that, then that's a great chance to use free shipping to, again, encourage the sale. So great, that's pretty much everything that I know about shipping things on eBay, and that's my total take on it and my opinion. If you guys have other suggestions or opinions about how you should be doing it, please leave those down below. I would love to hear them. I would love to hear why you guys think you should only use free shipping, for example, for everything, or why you use flat rate over calculated for certain items. Let me know down below, because again, I'm here learning as well, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. With that all said, though, if you guys did find value in this video or enjoyed it, I would highly recommend and appreciate it if you would leave a like on it, and maybe even, again, a comment just explaining what you liked about it or what you do for your shipping. With that said, if you're new to the channel, again, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys all in the next video.